Is sealed mode Gods Unchained's best update ever? Well, maybe. It was a long time with only one game mode in Gods Unchained, and that's been a problem. Limited modes, draft, sealed, etc., they're a really important part of the trading card game experience. I don't think Magic the Gathering would be nearly as big as it is today, not even close, if it only had standard constructed. I mean, anyone who's ever played Magic probably knows that really wacky formats like Commander, where you have 100 card singleton deck, are some of the most popular modes. And if you only had constructed, the game of Magic would not be the phenomenon that it is today. Turning off my air conditioner. Come on, please. There we go. Constructed mode is fun, but it's just not enough on its own. And in Gods Unchained, of course, it's definitely biased towards the whales because of lots of expensive neutral cards. And it also can just feel repetitive sometimes when you play against aggro war like 5 times in a row. You're kind of over it. Indeed, too many players have burned out on constructed mode and left behind Gods Unchained, just leaving the whole game behind because they're just tired of constructed. And that's why sealed mode feels like such a W. It's not just a limited format, it's also the missing piece of the puzzle of what Gods Unchained has needed to offer to be the premier TCG of Web3. It is an intense gameplay experience. Everyone that I see playing sealed mode is excited for the chance to get away from the usual meta, which we've had a long time to experience. There hasn't been that many new cards lately. Getting away from that and instead playing a wacky new meta full of weird decks, it's just so exciting. And not only is it different from what we're used to, it also has that feeling of intensity as if it was weekend ranked. Weekend ranked, of course, is your first 18 games on the weekend in the ranked queue. It counts towards extra rewards and a special leaderboard. And sealed mode feels like playing weekend ranked without actually having it happen. Like, even if it's a random Tuesday and nothing's going on, when you queue up in the sealed queue, it feels like that weekend ranked feeling, like this particular match matters. Sealed makes it possible to not even care about weekend ranked because there's actually more things to do. Not everything is about the first 18 games on the weekend anymore. It makes the game feel so much more engaging just having more options. And if you lose early, you go 0-3 in sealed, you can just start over with a clean slate as long as you have a couple more bucks to buy in again. I mean, try doing that in weekend ranked. When you go 0-3 in weekend ranked, the weekend's ruined. That's that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at least you can start over in sealed mode. Another thing about sealed is a chance for longtime players to rediscover the card pool. Gods Unchained, after all, has a lot of cards, over 1,000 cards. And in a mode like sealed, where you get 60 random cards to build a 30-card deck from, 2 things happen. One is you get to play with cards you've never heard of before, and number 2 is you get to use cards not in your collection. So you get to play with Jason or Avatar of War or whatever cool-ass card you get. This is huge. Budget players get to use all kinds of fun cards, especially Genesis cards, that they normally can't play with. It's really easy to underestimate that, but when you're in the game and you don't have access to those cards, it is very exciting to play with them. And even for players that do have large collections, sealed gives you the chance to use cards that are otherwise just unplayable. A good example of this, there's a card, is it called Rune Whisperer? There's a 6 energy card, it's 4/5 hidden, and it gives you 2 runes in your hand. It's just not really a card that fits into constructed decks, but it slays in sealed mode. And there's a lot of cards like this, cards that are just surprisingly good in sealed. The chance to discover new power levels for cards is one of the things I'm talking about when I talk about rediscovering the card pool. It reminds you of all the fun card design that exists in the game beyond the current very specific meta that we have in constructed. Okay, let's talk about the entry fee. 15 Gods tokens, which is about $3 today. Let's assume that they will adjust it so it stays around $3 in current value. Some people think this is too high. Some people think 15 Gods or $3 is too much. They think it's either unsustainable or unfair. And I just have to be honest, I fundamentally disagree. I think $3 is an excellent value proposition for sealed mode. A few things. Number one, you have to factor in the rewards. So if you win 5 games, you get all of your money back. If you win 4 games, you get half of it back. So you're not really losing 15 gods every time you queue. You're losing 10 to 15 on your worst runs, but you're actually getting all your tokens back or even a little more on your best runs. You're still going to lose money over time, but it's not really $3 each. It's $3 minus your rewards each time. So it's more like $1 or $2 of effective spend. It's a lot cheaper than limited formats and other games. Magic the Gathering Arena is more expensive. Just going out in real life and drafting. Let's be real, guys. $3 is the cost of one booster pack. Not even in any trading card game. One booster pack costs more than $3. So if you want to tell me that you think $3 is too much, I respect your opinion, but I just disagree. $3 is very affordable. It's a trading card game where buying booster packs and spending money on cards is part of the whole game. It's baked into the very core of the gameplay experience. It's not like you're playing Mario Bros. and a sudden pop-up shows up, pay $5 to unlock the upgrade. You know, you can't have a power mushroom in Mario unless you pay $5. It's not that kind of monetization. It's a specific thing. You're paying an entry fee for a mode that gives you a limited amount of games with rewards where you can win all of your money back or more. You're not expecting to profit. Most players won't go infinite, but $3 a pop is very reasonable. $3 per entry, very, very reasonable. And I feel fundamentally it is a totally fair entry fee. To top it all off, the sealed queue is moving very fast. So it's been 4 days since it launched. I'm still getting a match in 5 seconds, 10 seconds every time, even off stream. So not even just when I'm streaming, maybe people are watching, I don't know. But like even if I'm off stream in my boxers at, 8 o'clock at night, I'm smoking the blunt, I'm queuing up for sealed, I'm drinking a beer, like I'm just chilling. Even then, I'm getting fast queues. It just seems like the mode is succeeding and it seems sustainable so far. We'll see if a couple more weeks goes by and no one can afford to buy in anymore, but I think 15 gods, it's a pretty good price. I'm sorry if you don't have a lot of gods tokens. If you can't buy in right now, you're like waiting for your next play to earn claims. I get it, but it's a pretty good price. Okay, sealed is great. So what happens to constructed mode now? Sealed mode and limited formats in general were the missing piece of gods. Now they're not missing anymore. Does this mean constructed is dead? The answer is no. If we only had limited mode, we would be desperate for constructed mode. Gods Unchained just needs both formats going forward. Say that again. If we only had limited mode, we would really want constructed. If we had limited the whole time, we'd be celebrating constructed. We can finally build our own decks. My collection matters for a change. Like all the things would be in reverse. You know what I mean? You just need both. Each format offers something very different. Constructed is usually a better introduction for new players because the card pool of draft can be overwhelming. If you're experienced in trading card games in general, that might not be true. But if you're the kind of person who's more of a casual, not a competitive, like top-level grinder, it's usually going to be easier to pick one deck and learn it and then play it, as opposed to learning the whole pool. On the other hand, limited is anything but controlled. You're using the whole pool, you're not picking one deck, you're not in control. You have to overcome bad card pools, make the best of awkward situations, and try to understand the whole set of cards. It's just a very different experience. In constructed, you're controlling and preparing and trying to set yourself up for success. In limited, you're often laughing and making the best of whatever random shit you've got. Constructed gives you the chance to control your destiny, while limited throws you into some nonsense and demands that you make the best of it. While some players will exclusively play one or the other, I suspect most longtime Gods players will switch. Sometimes they'll be in the constructed mood, sometimes in the sealed mood, and having both options is the key, regardless of which side you find yourself on, which side you're on. With all that said, I am loving sealed. I can't wait to grind more of it. Streams have just been fun, not having to force it, just having some really good content in the game. I could play more sealed right now. I could end this video, go live, and play sealed and hang out again. Like, it's just fun. I hope things might go up and people can earn profits on things, but it's really nice to see a mode succeed separately from any financial incentives. You know what I mean? I hope that doesn't come across the wrong way. So anyway, loving Sealed. Thanks for watching. I'm going to end the ramble here. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Flux signing out.